All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am your Ice Dragon, RayronVR. And so, welcome to a brand new series. This is the Frostline Report with yours truly. So, what is happening? What is going on? What is this Frostline and Pacific Railroad? So, this series is going to be dedicated to just channel updates, to me talking to you guys about the lore. If you guys have any questions about the lore, some just general updates of IRL, what's going on with the layout, what's going on with like just the general news of things. And so kind of what's going on in my brain of mine that's basically going on. So let me kind of backtrack a little bit. So this was a couple months ago. My moderator, my wonderful moderator Brianna, she had a lot of good ideas when it comes to storytelling because this particular channel, I really wanted to showcase stories, and I was kind of curious how I wanted to do that. And I always had in the back of my mind that I wanted to do a freelance railroad. Originally, I called it the Grand Project for those of you who are OG to this channel. And this whole grand project basically was that I was going to create a story of how the Missouri Pacific became a Class 1 railroad. But then the more I thought about it, I didn't want to box myself into just the Missouri Pacific, because originally what I was going to do was, what if Missouri Pacific bought Union Pacific and basically took place of the Class 1 railroad of the Missouri Pacific? And so that would have been cool and all, but to be honest, when it comes to collection, when it comes to this hobby, I want to expand out of Union Pacific. I still love UP, and I still love the idea that they're going to merge with NS, which is still an interesting scenario. But I wanted to really expand. I didn't want to box myself into a dedicated lore that I can only just focus on the Missouri Pacific. And so that's when I really wanted to branch out. And so it took me a while I kind of shelved the idea because in order to write the story, it would have taken me months to write out the scripts, to really get the creative writing juice was flowing. And the issue with that is I'm not great when it comes to creative writing, and let alone to produce the imagery when it comes to telling the story of the Missouri Pacific being Class 1. I would have spent a lot of money to get the images that I need to do this type of story. And just to create one image, it can go between $50 to $100 just to get it commissioned by an artist. And so it came to the point that because of time, because of financial constraints, there was no way that idea would really flourish the way I wanted to, because I want to showcase that through videos as well here on the channel. I didn't just want to be just text and just a small little document that says this is how Missouri Pacific became a Class 1. And even with that idea, I was going to be boxed in because I really wanted to expand the horizons when it comes to storytelling. I also want to bring in the fantasy element to it. I mean, you guys see my mascot, it's a dragon, it's the icy dragon. And so I wanted to have a fantasy spin to the lore as well. And it wasn't until like 2 or 3 months ago, my moderator Brianna, she showed me how to use AI, and that has changed everything. I know there is a lot of debate with AI right now. A lot of people call it the AI slop when it comes to just videos, to images, to script writing. And I would say that about 70% of it is kind of like that. But there are still people out there that are trying to showcase stories with AI. And that's why I'm a big advocate of it if it's used as a tool to enhance the weakness of a person's skill set. And so my weakness is creative writing, is getting outlines made, because I just don't have the time to do it. I don't, I'm limited by art. I can't draw. I can't take the time to get all of these skills that I need to create the images. And it's just no way, because I have a full-time job on the side. And so there's a lot of aspects that I cannot devote the time to it. And I really want to tell the story. So once I started to play around with AI, that has completely changed the game. As you guys can see on my channel, I already have the story set. I've got 6 episodes. of how this world came about, and it really started to take off. It took me about a month to really flush out what I really wanted to do in the name of this freelance railroad, and I'm calling it fantasy freelance because it's not really prototypical how this railroad came to be. Um, it required a fantasy element to create this railroad, as you guys saw from the series. You have this basically an ice age event that basically halted all of North America. The railroads had to combine from the Staggers Act, and so it presented the class ones that we do today. So I kind of sped up the timeline a little bit to get caught up with the roads of today. But then kind of the story evolves into, you know what? We got to have the federal government take over the railroads because there's no way we can get all of these heads together to to basically cooperate. And so that's when the whole concept of the DCL came about. And I tried to make it a little bit realistic, but also sprinkling the fantasy elements from time to time because more than likely this won't happen, but I wanted to create this world so that way I can tell the stories that I need to later down the road. And so, yeah, I've been going ham with AI, and I want to showcase it to the point that, yeah, I took time making these images. I took time creating the script. I took time to think about and try to flush out this world that I'm trying to present. And so I'm using AI as a tool, not necessarily as a way to get content out fast or try to just, dump it per se. I want to use it as a tool. I want it to enhance the content that you guys see on this channel, especially on the long form side of things. Because I love model railroading. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to get away from showcasing the models that on our layout from a rail fanning perspective. I love doing those videos, but I also want to tell stories. And so finally, AI was the last piece that I needed in order to really branch out into what I want to do. And now I'm going ham on it. I'm getting new ideas. I've got other people giving me ideas as well on how to expand this. And I've got so many good things lined up for you guys. I am super, super excited. And so now it brings us to basically present day. We have this establishment of the Frostline and Pacific Railway, this what I call a fantasy freelance railroad. And so we've got 6 episodes. We've got The Ice That Never Melted. We've got The War Against the Cold. We've got, let's see here, we've got the Frostline Titan. We've got the famous one, which is Fires of the Forgotten. We've got the Heart of the Frostline, and we got Endless Horizons. Now, I could have probably added a few more episodes, but it was more episodes that I think can fall under what I'm going to call a short story. The 6 episodes I think was enough to build the world. I think you guys understand what's going on from like a 50,000 altitude perspective of what's going on. And so it's just enough that the world is built, but then by the end of episode 6, it can branch out to anything and everything that a story can breathe and evolve from. And that's how I wanted to set up the finale of it. And I felt like by episode 6, I had basically talked about everything that I wanted to do. And episode 6 is probably my favorite in the series because it's a lot of things that I theorize when it comes to just the modern day railroads. And so it really kind of highlights everything and how North America needed to adapt to bullet trains, maglifts, and it's like really the only way to get there was to cause that natural event, that great ice age that happened. So that way, the country can come as one and really get serious about this technology and the way forward. And I had to create a little bit of, what do I call it? A MacGuffin a little bit. I didn't want to, but in order to create the fantasy elements of this world, it basically came down to, okay, let's call this constant theme kept coming up when I was doing the AI scripts. And I'll talk about my AI process here in a second. Something called cryo. And it started to stick. And it really didn't stick until the later episodes of the Frostline core lore series, the 6 episodes. And that's when it's like, okay, cryo technology kept coming up a lot. It's like, okay, AI, that's a little far-fetched. So it's one of those ideas that I set aside. It's like, okay, this cryotech seems interesting. When should I introduce it? Should I go down this rabbit hole of having a kind of MacGuffin type of element? But I want to make sure it makes sense, to the point that it's somewhat believable. But again, you guys as the audience understand that, hey, this is still fantasy. It's out there, and that kind of got introduced a little bit in the Fires of the Forgotten. That cryotech really started to evolve into the lore, and then you really see it by the heart of the Frostline. That now it's in pretty much, you got this dust type of element that is really special. It has a lot of sorry for the random noise there, but it's really got a special property that it really is allowed us to create this energy into the future. I'm not going to go too much into like the lore and how cryotherium is the element that I'm calling into it, because it gets way complicated, I think, for me as a writer, and I could potentially get myself into paradoxes when I'm talking about this cryotherium. It's one of those things that in the writing world they will call press the I believe button. And that's kind of what I'm interjecting when it comes to the cryotherium. That's just that one element that it's really powerful. It innovates so many different things and allows us to advance technology to where I can also go into different worlds. So let's talk about a little bit about that. By the end of episode 6, we got something called cryogates, and this is something that I loved, and I gotta thank AI for developing it. Because once that idea popped in, when it came to the script of cryogates, it's like, oh, that's perfect, because now we can have our railroad go into, or even these subcontract railroads go into these cryogates, and then now we can use cryotherium along with this cryogate technology to go into different worlds. Now imagine going into a Lego world, or imagine going into maybe like a Minecraft world, or going into, insert random fantasy world, and then we can start telling even more stories from that. And that's the whole point of these gates, is that now there's endless possibilities, endless storytelling, and I loved every aspect of that. So yeah, now we have this world that's established. Eventually, I'll get the decals for the FPR. There's been some hints of how I want the diesels to look. Very inspired by the Missouri Pacific Railroad. I'll probably keep that color scheme of the Missouri Pacific blue, and then apply the decals to it of the FPR. But yeah, I cannot wait to get those diesels actually on the layout. So let's see. So let's talk about, again, let's go into AI a little bit. So before I go into AI, so you guys kind of see what I'm doing with this particular series. You know what? So I get a little bit scatterbrained when it comes to just me talking my mind. And that's what this whole series is about. The Frostline Report is just me talking my thoughts, where the channel is going, how healthy it is, kind of the why am I doing, this type of content. So a little bit behind the scenes into what I do and where I want to go with things. So let's talk about AI. So again, a lot of controversy with the AI. I know AI is in its infancy. The images, it takes a while to produce. Like a lot of these episodes, to use AI, it still took me about a week to develop an episode. From my initial paragraph of what I want the episode to be, to expanding it with AI, interjecting more details and that creative writing elements, to having the outline, and then me polishing the final script. So I use AI as a tool to expand the creative writing aspect, because that's where I'm weak at, and so I'm using that tool to help expand it to really be engaging. And sometimes it doesn't get it right, but definitely by the final script, I have edited, proofread several times, and expanded where things need to be expanded, or making sure that the continuity makes somewhat sense between the episodes of the scripts. So that's kind of my process. I make sure that the AI doesn't 100% take over the episode. I make sure that I'm still in creative control in what I wanted the episode to be. And so from there, once I have the script, then okay, let's start making the images. And then all the images, it takes me a good couple of hours to get all the images within one episode to where I want it to be and try to be somewhat of a continuative episode and visual aid for the dialogue and for the plot of the story. And yeah, it takes a time, and even then, it still doesn't look right. And again, this is one of those things that bear with me. I'm still trying to figure out AI, and I'm using all of the free plans for all of the AIs that I use. And so once I'm able to financially support getting like the paid versions of all these AIs, I'm hoping that I can really start creating the movies that I want to do. Because right now it's just more of a narrative dialogue, and I would love to eventually create movies out of with this AI stuff. So I am excited about AI. I know I'm kind of in the minority when I say that, but at the end of the day, that's what I need. That's a tool that I so desperately needed to tell these stories and to really get things to where I want it to be, to really provide a good enough backstory and expand upon the backstory lore of the Frostline Pacific Railroad. So as I'm creating this freelance, basically in live action, you guys get to see it in real time, which I think is beautiful. So, and there won't be an end to these stories. So kind of the way forward. So, when it comes to content, when it comes to stories, um, the core lore is built. The world is built when it comes to Frostline Pacific Railroad. Those 6 episodes are going to be the solid core of everything. It's going to be the episodes that or those episodes are going to be the branch off points to the short stories that I want to create, along with other guest creators. Brianna is in the works of creating an episode, which I can't wait to get that going. I'll be creating a whole bunch as well. So if you want to create a short story in this world, let me know. Maybe we can get a short story going. But from this point forward, when I deal with creating lore and stories, the best way that I can describe it is think about Netflix's Love, Death, and Robots, Black Mirror, and all those other stories that they're just one timers that everything has a beginning, middle, and end. And so that's why it was so important to get the 6 episodes out, is because now I have the world built, and now we can start branching out into so many different solo independent stories. Now, we may have some episodes that become a series depending on if you guys like the characters, if you like the plot of a particular short story. Then we could potentially look into creating a full-blown sub-series of that story within the Frostline universe, as I'm coining it at this point. And so I'm really excited for the future of these projects. Now, these episodes will definitely take a while. Now that I've got the 6 episodes out, it's usually going to take me between maybe a week to 2 weeks to get a short story out, because each story is going to be unique. Each story is going to have their own different production style. It's going to have their different aspect that I have to record, that I have to create. And what I want to do is introduce different types of visual mediums for you guys to enjoy. So this next short story, I'm actually incorporating one of my train models into the story. And I think that'd be kind of cool to finally start mixing what I've always wanted to do, which is create a backstory of all of my engines in my inventory into this wonderful Frostline universe. So I'm really pushing how far can I take my photography, my videography, my editing, how can I incorporate that with AI now, and just script writing as well. So I'm constantly improving, constantly trying to find new ways to help you guys just have fun. That's the whole point of this channel. I want to create escapism for you guys so you guys can enjoy it. And who knows, if you guys have any suggestions of a short story, let me know and we'll expand upon it. And I'll definitely give you all the credit in the world that you came up with the idea. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you like where this is going? If you have any lore questions, feel free to ask in the comments down below. This is kind of the platform that I want to use that for. That this whole, it's a little bit of role playing. Like I'm role playing this director as the mascot here as Rayron the Ice Dragon. So in present day, he's currently the director of the FPR, and so this is an opportunity to really I really wanted to role play a company, and role play a railroad to you guys, and have you guys be part of this story. And so I'm excited to see what doors open for us as we continue to create the lore going forward. Also, when it comes to those who support the channel financially, we have now, because I've debated what to really call it when it comes, if you guys generously help the channel here monetarily. And so, you know what? Let's pretend that you guys have a share in this company. I really haven't made it lore official, but for now, the FPR, let's just say it goes public. And so if you guys contribute being on Patreon, Subscribestar, and eventually when the channel gets monetized, you guys will have a, pretend share of the FPR Railroad. And what I'll do is once a month, we'll have like a members board meeting that you guys can talk with me one-on-one on a special live stream, and we can see where we can take the lore. You guys will have even more inputs to that. And so I think it's just interesting because, again, I want to bring you guys into the railroad. Um, I don't think this has been done on this scale before when it comes to the interaction of a fancy freelance railroad. It's something I really want to dive into more and have you guys be involved of the creation of the lore as it moves forward. So the fact that you guys can in real time potentially shape the lore of the FPR world and universe. So I'm really, really excited. This is a passion project I've been working on for a couple months now, and the fact that now we're finally rolling with it, and here we are with everything. So I have a few more ideas that I'm cooking up. I'm still debating if I want to proceed, but some other ideas that I have is a digital train show. I've already got the name and the logo and everything. I've got everything's lined up. I just want to know if you guys are interested in it. If you guys are interested in having a digital train show, I'm not gonna call it a show. It's gonna be called the exhibition form. So it's basically going to be. I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know if I should do it quarterly. I don't know if I should do it yearly. But basically, it's going to be a event that if you want to promote your channel, if you want to promote your product, if you want to promote anything, just let me know and we'll give you a time slot and we'll go ahead and do that event. So it's something that I am considering doing. I am revamping our Discord, so more to come on that. Let's see what else. I've got a FPR potential radio show that I'm debating about doing that will help advance the lore a little bit. And it'll be kind of the podcast where if you want to do a one-on-one interview, then we can do that radio show. So again, if you're interested in wanting to talk about your story, it's kind of a inspiration from like Around the Layout podcast and Second Section. That's going to be my spin-off equivalent when it comes to the radio show. So I've got a lot of ideas kind of working behind the scenes, but I'm kind of interested if you guys want that type of content on this channel. I think it would be fun, but at the end of the day, it's escapism for you guys. So I'm definitely going to continue this series because I just love talking about trains. I'm really passionate about it. It took me a while to really develop this Frostline report because I wanted to make it like, again, we're role playing here. I really want to be immersive when it comes to this type of content and the long form aspect of it. And so I think this is working. Hopefully you guys like it, enjoy it. Again, give me feedback. We're creating this lore together when it comes to the FPR. But yeah, I'm trying to think, is there anything else I want to talk about? Yeah, so let's talk about live streams. So I want to start live streams again, but again, I want to incorporate the Frostline and Pacific Railroad into that. The Icy Railway podcast, I'll probably go ahead and sunset it with 60 episodes. I think it was a respectable live stream series, but I think I'm going to go ahead and sunset it for a more up-to-date live stream night to night show type of equivalent thing that I used to do on Friday evenings when we just run a train around the layout. And so I want to again incorporate that into the FPR lore. So I'm still trying to formulate that. And the other issue is that I haven't really cut my layout together. It's still in pieces. I just have modular sections that are upright but not connected to one another whatsoever. So I gotta find the time to get it all connected and test it. It's probably going to be a point to point. Get all the camera set up again. once life really settles down and once I've got kind of this lore established and on a routine and got my production schedule squared away, then we'll start bringing those back. But for now, no live streams yet until I can get things more situated. But as you can see, we're laying down the foundation for the future. And this time away from live streams helped me just figure out what I wanted to do with the channel and what am I really passionate about. Yes, I love model railroading, but I also want to tell stories with that as well. And so I think we got that happy medium between the two. So yeah, I've got again so many great things coming up, guys. I am excited for the future when it comes to this channel and just the Frostline and Pacific Railroad moving forward. So, but with that, guys, my throat is definitely seeing some better days and kind of fading a little bit. So with that, again, I'm excited. Let me know what you guys think about all of that we've talked about today on this episode 1 of the Frostline Report. But with the guys, thank you so much. And with that, I'll see you on the next episode.